My name is Harlan Sanders, and you might know me better as Colonel Sanders, the face of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I grew up in Indiana. My father passed away from a fever when I was merely 6, leaving my mother to care for me and my 2 siblings who were 4 and 2 years old. With my mother working long hours, I had to step up. Taking care of my younger siblings at such a young age was not easy. I had to balance my own schooling with the responsibilities at home. I learned to cook simple meals, clean the house, and make sure my siblings were safe and cared for. There were times when I felt overwhelmed by the weight of these duties, especially when my siblings were sick or needed extra attention. In the early 1900s, traditional gender roles were quite strict, and it was unusual for men, especially young boys, to take on cooking and household chores. These responsibilities were typically seen as women's work. Because of this, I often faced ridicule and teasing from others who couldn't understand why a boy would be doing what was considered women's work.
In this situation, ridicule and teasing both mean making fun of someone, but they have slightly different meanings. Ridicule means making fun of someone in a mean or nasty way. It is done to make the person feel small or embarrassed. Ridicule is often very hurtful and is meant to make someone feel ashamed. For example, someone might say,
"Here comes Princess Cinderella, doing all the house chores."
This kind of comment is meant to belittle the person and make them feel inferior. Teasing, on the other hand, can be joking in a fun or friendly way, but it can also hurt someone's feelings. It means making fun of someone in a way that is not too serious. It can be a way to show affection among friends, but it can become harmful if it happens too much or is done in a mean way. For example, a friend might say,
"Oh, look, here comes the little chef,"
in a playful tone. While this might be intended as a joke, it could still hurt if it is repeated often, showing how even friendly teasing can become hurtful over time. In this context, both words mean Sanders received negative reactions from others. Ridicule means people were very mean and hurtful, showing disrespect. Teasing means people were making fun in a lighter, less serious way.
I remember the whispers and snide comments from neighbors and schoolmates.
Snide means mean or mocking in a sneaky way. Snide comments are remarks that are meant to hurt or criticize someone, but they are often said in a casual or hidden way. These comments are not direct insults. Instead, they are cleverly disguised to seem harmless or offhand. For example, instead of saying,
"You're bad at cooking,"
a snide comment might be,
"Oh, are you sure? You want to cook? Remember what happened last time?"
The intention is still to hurt or belittle, but it's done in a subtle way. that can be harder to confront directly. These remarks seem casual or hidden, making them appear as innocent comments rather than direct insults.
They couldn't comprehend why I was spending my time in the kitchen instead of playing outside or doing more manly activities. Some even questioned my abilities, assuming that a boy couldn't possibly manage household tasks as well as a woman could. Despite the teasing, I knew that my family depended on me. I learned to ignore the negative comments and focus on what was truly important, ensuring my family was well fed, safe, and cared for. Looking back, I realized these hard responsibilities gave me invaluable opportunities and shaped who I became later in life. Those early experiences in the kitchen sparked my love for cooking and taught me what I could do and what I loved. Honestly, without those difficult situations and pressures, I may never have discovered my passion and my path to success. As I grew older, life continued to be challenging. The Great Depression hit hard, and I worked various jobs to survive. From a streetcar conductor to a railroad fireman.
The Great Depression was a severe, worldwide economic downturn that took place during the 1930s. It started in the United States after the stock market crash of October 1929, known as Black Tuesday, and quickly spread to other countries. The Great Depression caused widespread unemployment, poverty, and a significant decline in economic activity. Many people lost their jobs, homes, and savings, and businesses closed down. It was one of the most challenging periods in modern economic history, lasting about a decade until the early 1940s. What are streetcar conductors and firemen? A streetcar conductor is someone who works on a streetcar, which is a type of public transportation that runs on tracks in cities. The conductor's job is to collect money from passengers, help them get on and off the streetcar safely, and make sure everything runs smoothly. They also answer passengers' questions and make sure everyone follows the rules while riding. A railroad fireman is someone who works on a steam train. The fireman helps the engineer by keeping the fire going that powers the train. This means shoveling coal into the firebox to keep it hot and checking the gauges to make sure there is enough steam and water. The fireman makes sure the train runs safely and efficiently.
When I was 40, I began serving meals to travelers. My fried chicken quickly became popular, and I opened a small restaurant. But just when things seemed to be going well, a new interstate diverted traffic away from my restaurant, forcing me to close it down.
An interstate is a major highway that goes across state lines, connecting different states as part of a larger network of roads. Synonyms for interstate include freeway and expressway. These roads are designed for fast and efficient travel over long distances. Diverted means to change direction or reroute something. In this context, It means that the traffic, or the flow of cars, was redirected away from its usual path, taking a different route than originally intended. This change in direction means that cars that used to pass by a certain location are now traveling along a new route, avoiding the old path entirely. So, the sentence means that a new major highway was built, and as a result, the cars that used to pass by and stop at his restaurant started taking the new highway instead. Because fewer cars were passing by his restaurant, he lost a lot of customers, which eventually forced him to shut down the business.
At 65, with most people thinking about retirement, I faced a crucial decision. Instead of retiring and living a life collecting Social Security from the government, enjoying a comfortable life like most others, I decided to take a different route. I traveled across the country, packing up my car with pressure cookers and bags of spices, determined to find restaurant owners who would give my fried chicken a chance. I visited countless diners, cafes, and roadside eateries, offering to cook batches of chicken for the owners and their staff. My journey was far from glamorous. I slept in my car, often ate simple meals, and faced countless rejections along the way.
In this context, glamorous means something that is attractive, exciting, and associated with luxury or wealth. When the statement says, "My journey was far from glamorous," it implies that the journey was not easy, luxurious, or comfortable. Instead, it was difficult, uncomfortable, and involved a lot of hardship, such as sleeping in a car, eating simple meals, and facing many rejections.
I got rejected over 1,000 times. And people made comments like,
"Yuck! This chicken is terrible. No one would ever buy this."
You must be kidding. An old man like you should be enjoying retirement, not chasing pipe dreams.
The term pipe dream comes from the 19th century, when people would smoke opium using pipes. Opium, a narcotic drug, made from the opium poppy plant, was used for its pain-relieving and sedative effects. The drug would induce unrealistic and fantastical visions or dreams. These dreams were so improbable that the term pipe dream came to mean any idea or plan that is unrealistic and unlikely to happen. So this comment means, they thought my goals were as unrealistic as the hallucinations induced by opium, and that I should be focusing on enjoying my retirement instead.
Sorry, but we don't need another fried chicken place. The market is already saturated.
Saturated means the completely soaked with a liquid, to the point where no more can be absorbed. For example, imagine pouring water into a cup until it overflows because it can't hold any more liquid. The term can also be used more broadly to describe something that is filled to capacity or fully occupied. For instance, if a market is saturated, it means that there is no more room for new businesses, because the demand is already being met by existing ones.
What? Starting a new business at your age? You've got to be crazy.
But in the end, my perseverance paid off when I met someone who saw the potential in my chicken and became my first franchisee. Together, we opened the first Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant, and the business began to grow, turning my dream into a reality. Through all the hardships and rejections, I learned a vital lesson. Age is not a hindrance in the pursuit of success. It's just another number.
Hindrance means something that makes it difficult to do something or causes a delay. It can be an obstacle or barrier that prevents progress. In this context, hindrance means that age is not an obstacle or barrier to achieving success. It doesn't stop or slow down your ability to succeed.